and then we'll turn the cameras off and move on to the written guys. Chris, do you want to get us underway for Sky Sports News?
Good afternoon, Grant.
Good afternoon.
Can I start with some injury news? We saw that Jared Bowen was back on the grass. What's the latest with him? Will he make the match squad for Sunday?
Well, he's been integrated into the group. He's had like 1/2 sessions. Still really need to assess him and how he reacts. So it's still early, but obviously we've got another day tomorrow. We'll see. But I think it's important that we don't, we don't rush him in and we make sure he's right. Apart from that, same with Cree as well. He's had a couple of sessions, but again, just need to make sure that he's confident and we're confident. But no further problems from the weekend.
There's a small chance with Jared then, and how much of a boost has it been just getting him back around the place and not on the grass?
Well, it's nice to have him, taking part in aspects of training, of course, both of the players. But as I said, we need to make sure that when he's back, he's comfortable. Both of them are comfortable and feel ready to help us, because undoubtedly they will. But they've come back from an injury, so we need to make sure.
Is there any updates on him in terms of injury?
No, he's progressing, but the weekend will come too soon for him for sure. Progressing.
I think I'm right in saying since you joined the club, this is the longest period that you would have had training with the players without sort of matches getting in the way. What's been the priority in those sessions, and how have you managed to kind of split your time with that and recruitment? Because obviously we're in the January window as well.
Yeah, it's the first full week we've had. I mean, we've only been here 2 weeks. It feels like a lot longer than 2 weeks, but we've only been here 2 weeks. So it's been nice to have a full week's training. We've managed to, do a bit of work and analyse the game and prepare for Aston Villa and use the time well. Boys have trained well. As I said before, every session, every day is more information, getting to know the players, getting to know the group, getting to know the relationships. So it's been a good week.
In terms of being in January, I think John Tratadiba, that's a name that's been thrown out there this week. Talks about Juventus. Is he someone you expect to be in the club by the end of the window?
Who, sorry?
Tadibo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot this time of year. There's a lot of speculation, and if I answered every question on the piece of speculation, then we'd be here a long time, and it'd be pretty tedious, I think. So we just ignore the noise, help the players, the ones that are injured, help them get back. JC's one of those, so we need to help him get back fit, because then he'll help us, and then keep working.
Are you any closer to bringing anyone in? There's been a lot of talk about the striker this week. Another name, I know you won't speak for names, but Andre Silva from the Bundesliga is someone who's been brought up in reports. Are you closer to bringing anyone in at the moment?
Well, we have nothing to report, otherwise we'll be reporting it. As I've said many a time, we're always looking. I think, obviously, as I said, there's lots of factors. The club invested a lot of money in the summer, so we have to be mindful of that. And at the same time, in this window, it's always complicated and always to find the right person. My focus has been, we've had a full week's training, and so it's important to work with the players that are here to help them improve. That's the focus. That's what we've been doing.
You said this club spent a lot of money in the summer. I guess somebody involved with that would have been Tim Stuyton. We understand that you might be due to part ways with the club. Is there anything you can tell us more on that then?
No, nothing to report for me. We've had a full week's training, so again, my focus is on the players and the staff here. We're working with the club and doing our best to help the club improve. So that's all I can say.
Is Carl McCauley someone you can tell us about? Because we understand he's due to join the club in the recruitment team, someone you've worked with in the past, and on him, how important is that relationship in terms of just joining a new club, but building the strength between yourself and the recruitment team?
Yeah, Kyle's in. Kyle's been part of my staff for the last 10, however many years I've been coaching, since Sweden. So I know him well, and he knows me well. It's a good link between the coach and the club in terms of recruitment, in terms of the hours and depths of conversations that you have to have around recruitment. It's easier to have with Carl than it is for me, because clearly I'm on the pitch and I'm working with the 20 odd players that we've got here. So yeah, so I'm really happy with that appointment. Something that was always going to happen. It was just a case of when. I'm obviously delighted he's here.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that appointment? What his exact role is going to be?
Yeah, he's head of recruitment. So again, just to provide a link between myself, the coach, and the club to make the best decisions we can. As I said, recruitment's about having lots of conversations and lots of work to make the right decision. And the reality of it is, head coaches in the Premier League these days, the time on that in a global market is nearly impossible. So to have someone like Kyle to help in that regard is going to be great for us and great for me.
And just finally, Graham, I guess there's been a lot of the fans of this club have always been keen to see young players progress and get their chance in the first team. I think in recent weeks, Lewis Orford's played, Ollie Scarles as well. There's obviously a shortage at the moment for centre back in terms of the injury to Mavropanos and suspensions. Suspensions, Mavropanos and injuries. Caelan Casey as well. Is he someone that you're going to look to use in the next few weeks?
Well, he's been in the squad. I think you're right about the young players are important. The academy is important for us. At the same time, we have to make sure we win. We're not a development team. We're here to win football matches, and we have to select the right players to help us. Caelan, Ollie, Scarles, Lewis have trained well with the boys. Important players for us in the group. But as always, you have to select the right team that you think can win. And nevertheless, the academy will always be central as long as I'm here to be part of our thoughts, to be in our minds in terms of what decisions we're making. But at the same time, we want to win football matches.
Charlie, PLP.
Hi Graham.
Hi.
You mentioned that full week of training. I mean, how have you assessed the spirit within the squad, and how do you feel that the players have taken on your ideas?
Yeah, as I said, we've had a really positive week. Boys have worked hard, trained well. I have no complaints in terms of the 2 weeks I've been here. Every training session, every message, I think the intention's there. The players, of course, can they carry it out 100%? No, because that's just the process. But they try, and they're honest, and they wanna be open-minded and wanna learn and improve. So yeah, the response has been really good.
I interviewed Mohamed Kudus this week, and I asked him about the number 9 role that he played against Crystal Palace. I know in the last couple of weeks he has played a couple of different roles. He played on the right against Brighton, obviously on the left rather, but he prefers playing on the right. And he said he likes being versatile. He likes learning as well. How do you feel he's taken on that role, playing up front, and what do you think he can bring to that role?
Well, we're in a situation where in the first game we lost our centre forward, and we lost Cree, and we're already without Jared and Mick as well. So we're a little bit light in that, and we've had to almost adapt. Mo has had to adapt a little bit, and Lucas Paqueta as well. So the team, from an attacking perspective, has just had to adjust, because it's obviously suboptimal. But Mo's taken every challenge on in a good way. I think we tried to use his physicality a little bit in that role. I think it worked to a certain extent, but not in other ways, which is probably normal. But I think he's one of those players that can play in lots of positions in the front three, and it's whether he's enjoying his football and we can get the ball enough to him, and he's not defending as much as maybe not defending as much as so that he takes away from his attacking idea. At the same time, he has a responsibility to help the team, and if we can get that balance right, we've got a top player.
And in terms of Aston Villa, of course, your first game in charge of West Ham was against Aston Villa. What can you take away from that FA Cup game going into Sunday's match?
Well, that it's, as you'd expect, it's always a tough game there. Villa Park is always a challenging environment from the away side. I think obviously with Unai doing such an amazing job there, and the team's in a good place, obviously competing for the Champions League, in the Champions League, should I say, and competing for the Champions League again. They're a strong outfit. We did well first half and weren't able to sustain that in the second half, so we need to try to do better there. But it's going to be a tough match, but we're looking forward to it. Like I said, we've had a good week, we've learnt a bit more, and now we have to go and test ourselves again. Thank you.
Couple from Lewis Talksport.
Hi Graham, how are you?
Hi, very well, thank you.
Sorry, can I just get you to clarify about Tim Stein, because if Kyle's come in as head of recruitment, where does that leave a position for Tim to work?
Well, it doesn't change anything, because it's a had the same role at Brighton. Carl had the same role at Brighton and Chelsea. There's a head of recruitment and there's a technical director, so it's no problem.
Fair enough. Is it essential you bring in a striker in the next 10 days? Because you are very light, you are playing players kind of out of position as a number 9, and I think Danny Ings is the only fit striker you have, and Danny's had injuries before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the word essential because it feels a bit drastic. I think the truth is I've lost a couple of players in that position, so I understand the question. I understand the need for it, and as I said, if we could find the right person, then as always we're looking to do something. I think if you look at the 3 games we've played, I think we've scored 5. So goal scoring in itself is okay. We need to do better in terms of how we attack, so we can create more chances, so we can sustain better attacks, to defend less, and obviously, attacking players can help that. So we're a little bit light, but again, it's lots of factors, and we have to just to deal with it and try to improve what we have and keep looking.
If you don't like the word essential, what word would you use?
I've not really thought about posing myself that question, to be honest. That's your job.
I know, but you didn't like the word I used, so that's what.
No, but essential fact sounds like it's a bit too drastic, but I understand why you asked the question.
Fair enough. By the way, can I ask you met Mikel Antonio this week. How is he? What's his spirits like? How did you get on with him?
Yeah, really good, really good. He's a top character, isn't he? He's fantastic company. At the same time, he's been through a really, really traumatic and difficult experience, so we have to acknowledge that as well and support him, but he's in and around the place and making people smile at the same time, acknowledging that it's what he's been through puts things into perspective.
I mean, obviously he can't play, but would you like him to be, you mentioned him coming in and around smiling, would you like him to be involved with the first team between now and the end of the season, if it's just on a sort of level where he gets people smiling?
Well, I think the priority is Mick. He's the priority, because again, when you've had the type of experience that he's had, I think the boys would say this, the team and everything else is secondary. It's about him making sure that he's okay, making sure that he's dealing with what's happened, he's on with his recovery, and we're supporting him, and obviously we're here to help him, and I'm sure he's here to help us as well, but the main thing is him.
Finally, you didn't like the word essential, so you may not like these 2 words, but is the rest of the season a free hit for you, because now there's no cups to play for, there's just league position, but I mean, for you to get to know the players, really bed down your philosophy. You don't like free hit, do you?
Oh, no, it's even less. I like that less than essential, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, of course, because
So
it's the
it's
the Premier League. We're at West Ham. There's no such thing. There's pressure to win. There's demand to win. There's challenge to win. Our ambition is there. We want to improve. We want to get better. We want to move towards a style of play that our supporters recognise and are fond of. So we've got lots and lots of things to do, and every game is really, really important.
I'll buy a thesaurus for next week.
No problem.
Okay, we'll turn the cameras off then, please.